When playing Fallout 4, you can use a combination of perks and armor to effectively allow you to carry as much as you want without having to worry about being over-encumbered. You can achieve this without using any glitches or exploits, and the most benefit of this is that you can plug this into any build in the game. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. Hi, I'm Mo and I'm trapped in Fallout. Before we actually dive into the details, let's quickly talk about what is the benefit of sort of doing this whole thing. Well, firstly, by using these combination of perks and armor that I'm going to show you, you can literally plug this into any build you're using, whether it happens to be a melee build or a sneak build, whatever. The whole idea is that this is going to be a mechanism that you can use whenever you want if you need to use it. So with that in mind, how do we do this? First of all, let's take a look at my current perks. So I happen to be level 50 and I've actually used a little bit of cheating. I've used console commands to get me up to a state where I can have enough points to play around with. My current specials all sit at 4, although this won't really make a difference as such. This is just so we can set a little bit of context. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have a strength of 6 because you will need to have access to the strong back perk. Now, before we do this, let me demonstrate what over encumbered actually means. Again, I'm pretty confident everyone here knows this, but I'm just going to show it really quickly. If we have a look at my inventory, I'm currently carrying 20 out of 260. So I can carry up to 260, and the moment I exceed that limit, I will not be able to run as I'm running right now. So if I carry this gold bar here, this has now pushed my carry weight all the way up to 525. And as a result, I am now over encumbered. So now when I try to run or walk, first of all, I can't sprint and I'm stuck at the slowest walking animation possible in the game. And what this means is because I'm carrying too much, I cannot run, and this is effectively a limitation of being over encumbered. Now, going back to this strong back perk, if I have 3 ranks in this perk, then notice on the 3rd rank I can now use my action points to run. Now, although we didn't clock this, without any action points, or rather with this perk, if you notice on the bottom right, I am now using my action points. Now, I'm not going to sit here and time this specifically, you're just going to have to take it on faith, but this actually takes me about 9 seconds to fully deplete my AP bar. So with the 3rd rank in strong back, when I am over encumbered when I run, it takes about 9 seconds roughly. And if you notice, my AP points are replenishing, which is good, but they are taking quite a significant amount of time. So this is no sensible means of effectively being over encumbered and running, because you will constantly be sort of running for about 9 seconds and then sort of taking a bit of a checkpoint and stopping for probably a little bit longer than 9 seconds and then rinsing and repeating. And this is no way of, or no suitable or sustainable way at least, of maintaining a over encumbered state. So now what we're going to do is go back into this strong back perk, and now we're going to get the 5th rank, which when you get it, your running costs go down by 50%. In other words, you use less action points when you're running. Now here is something that I don't think is discussed as much. When you are over encumbered and you have the 3rd rank in the strong back perk, when you run, you use your AP points. Now that isn't considered sprinting, but because you're using AP points, the game thinks you're sprinting. So now when we run, notice our AP points are going down again, but this time they are going down effectively 50% less. In other words, we will be able to run significantly longer than 9 seconds. It's actually about 20 seconds. So by getting that 5th rank in the strong back perk, you will now be able to effectively run for a little bit longer whilst carrying all this weight. But again, we're still stuck at that same problem. Whilst running, it uses up all our AP points, and then we have to sort of sit idle for some amount of time for it to replenish. But we can try and battle that as well with another perk. The next perk you want to look at is in the agility tree, and for this you need an agility of 6. So once you have an agility of 6, invest all 3 points into moving target. Now with the last rank in moving targets, this will further decrease the amount of action points you use by 50% when sprinting. So this will reduce your running cost by 50% anyway, which takes you down to, I suppose, 50%, and this will take you down by another 50%, which, if the math is right, you're effectively reducing your entire sprint run cost by about 75%. Anyway, now if we go back and if we run, now notice that our AP points actually take even longer to go down, which is really good. So it's getting us closer to the goal of being able to sustain this long running animation whilst also being over encumbered. Now we can also boost this mechanism a little bit further. So if we go back into our perk chart, this time what you want to do is invest some points into Action Boy. And what Action Boy will do is refresh or also regenerate your AP points significantly faster, especially the third rank. So the third rank will replenish your AP points 75% faster. So now if you have a look on the bottom right, our AP points are coming back significantly faster, and this does by proxy also affect how long you can run. So in this state, you will be able to run for about 45 seconds, which again isn't too bad. That's definitely better than the original 9 seconds. And when you stop, as opposed to last time where we know it took a pretty good amount of time, this time our AP points do replenish a little bit more quicker. So let's take this even a little bit more further with some other kit. But again, before talking about these kits, the combination of these perks alone will now allow you to carry almost as much as you want without having to worry about going into this slow animation state. But as said, now let's talk about some kits specifically. One of the first armor pieces that you want to buy is actually sold to you by Proctor Tegan in the Pridwin, and when you get access to his inventory, you want to get your hands on the Commando chest piece. When having the Commando chest piece equipped, this will increase how quickly your action points replenish. So this actually stacks with the perk that we just looked at, where your action points will replenish 75% faster. Next, you want to visit Good Neighbor and you want to speak to Daisy. When speaking to Daisy and going into her barter option, and you select the armor option, from here you will be able to purchase the Destroyer's left leg, which when worn will increase your movement speed by 10%. Now, given that when you are over encumbered you can't actually sprint, this will go a long way towards helping you to move at least a little bit more quicker, and you can also modify this, but we'll talk about the modification in a moment. But make sure that you grab this armor piece. The third armor piece you want is sold to you by Alexis in Vault 81. Again, go into her barter option and then go into her apparel, and from here you want to purchase the Destroyer's right leg. Again, this will do the same thing. This will increase your movement speed by 10%, and again we'll be able to further modify that, but let's talk about that in a moment. Now, before I show you the armor modifications and a couple of more tweaks you can make to make this a little bit more efficient, if you found this video useful, please do consider liking the video and leaving a comment. I definitely do like reading your comments, and I definitely do try to reply to all the comments that I get. And again, if you found it useful and you just find my content in general useful, please do consider subscribing, as that really helps grow the channel a little bit more. Okay, so with that said, let's talk about these modifications. If we go into the left and right leg specifically and we go in the available mods, one mod you can apply are the custom fitted mod, and what this will do is further reduce the amount of AP points you use when you're sprinting, i.e. when you're using up your AP points as a result of being over encumbered, and you can do that to both of your legs. So again, just apply the custom fitted mod to both. On the Commando chest piece specifically, you can apply the ultra light build. What this will do is increase your AP points by a small amount, but that small amount will go a long way towards helping. So now if we run, previously it took about 45 seconds, now it will take about a minute for your AP bar to be fully emptied before you need to take a break to allow it to catch up. But even with that said, if we just sort of stop, given our Commando chest piece and the perk we have from moving target, our AP points replenish pretty quickly now. So like I said from the very beginning of this video, you can plug this into any build and be able to carry as much as you want. Now, a couple of final tweaks you can make, again you can do this very passively, is to actually bump up both your agility and your endurance. So if we go our perk chart and if we increase our endurance to begin with, so let's take this up as much as we can. Now if we run, although it's going to be hard to tell, our AP point is going down, but it's just going down at a very small rate. It's hard to tell for sure, but our AP points are actually going down. Now you can even further boost this by putting in points into agility. Now you might be saying 10 points in endurance and agility is quite a big ask, but the reality is, because I said you can plug this in, you will probably naturally be increasing your endurance and agility anyway. So now if we run, now I did time this, it took me a rather long time. It took something like 89 seconds for my AP bar to fully empty out as a result of all the perks and the armor kit I'm wearing. Now, something else to note is I kept mentioning this plug and play. Well, this is what I really meant. When you have the perks in Fallout 4, there is no concept of say turning off a perk or turning it back on. Once you have the rank, you've got the rank and you're sort of stuck with it. But when it comes to your armor, you can always always, just switch out these armors for whatever armor you happen to be wearing. But when you need to be in that moment where you want to carry a lot of stuff and you want to sort of, let's just say, hurl it all around the Commonwealth, all you need to do is equip these 3 armors and you're basically ready to go. You will be able to run from effectively one corner of the map to the other whilst being over encumbered and not really have to worry about it. And yes, in survival mode, you can take damage as a result of being over encumbered, but with that 5th rank in strong back, you will negate that also. So by using this combination of perks and armor kits and high endurance and high agility, you will be able to go into any location, loot all of the items that you want to loot, not have to worry about being over encumbered, and then slowly make your way back to base. If you happen to be playing on normal difficulty, then you will be able to fast travel given that you have the relevant ranks in strong back. And if you happen to be playing in survival mode, then the sprinter's legendary effects will allow you to run as quickly as you can, or you can resort to using something like the vertibird to help you travel from one location to the other. In this guide, I showed you how you can plug these perks and armor pieces into virtually any build, allowing you to carry as much as you want whenever you want. However, if you instead prefer to use a well-known glitch in Fallout 4 to effectively run forever, then click on the video you see on the screen right now, where I will show you a glitch that you can use to run forever without having any necessary armor kits whatsoever. Click on the video you see on the screen now and I'll show you how you can run forever in Fallout 4 virtually from one corner of the map to the other without deplenishing a single AP point.